guys, we're excited. Today we have an awesome session lined up. To know him is to love him. You guys know Ryan. He's been with us for for quite a while. He speaks regularly. Ryan, you guys, is just an all-around incredible human and one of my very favorite people. He is uber smart. Like, don't you have like a double MBA, Ryan? You're muted. You're muted. Sorry, what?
Oh, I said no, just one.
Okay, well, just one. But anyway, so he has an MBA. He's a seven-figure agent himself. He is the co-founder of Sales Genius. He is an incredible agent attractor, community builder, speaker, leader, and we're in for a great treat today. So I'm going to give it over to you, Rye.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, guys, I'm super excited to be here today. Thanks for having me. I was supposed to be next week. Amy came to me in a panic and was like, "Can you fill in?" And I was like, "Oh, shoot, I guess I better get a talk together." So luckily I had something new in the back of my head that I wanted to create. And
we're the first to hear it.
So it got created. This is some new stuff, but I think it's very timely for what's going on in a lot of markets right now. Like, who's having a difficult time in their market in 2025? Drop a 1 in the chat if 2025 in your market is tough. Like, just be honest. Like, I know my market, it is tough out there. We're seeing record lows in terms of number of transactions, record highs in terms of number of listings. And it's tough to get deals done and put deals together, and it's tough to find clients. So I think today's talk is, obviously, if you know me, I'm very focused on sales and marketing. I love everything sales. I love everything marketing. And we've become, and I know Joe is obsessed with this, we've become so obsessed with lead generation over the last decade in real estate. And it made me think about the forgotten art of building brand awareness. And we used to be great at this as realtors. Like, there's the whole stigma of like, how many bus stops can you be on, or park benches can we have our face on, or cheesy billboards, which are some great classic ways to build brand awareness. But there's some new strategies out there that are super affordable, because I know times are tough. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, is having you, because like, let's be honest, if there's not as many transactions out there, just chasing new lead gen means you're spending a lot of money, and it's very difficult. There's just not as many buyers or sellers in the marketplace right now. But leveraging brand awareness can set you up so that when the market flips, because who agrees with me? Drop a 2 in the chat if you agree with me. The market will turn. There's ups and downs in every market. Who agrees the market will turn? And drop a 1 if you want to be in a position when the market turns that you have this overflowing funnel and everyone in your marketplace thinks of you when they think real estate. Who wants to be that person?
Yes.
Hey, Ryan, really quick. This is so relevant, guys. I think if you have not come to this realization yet, you will shortly, that the age of entrepreneurship in real estate is really coming to an end. Like, I'm talking to more and more team leaders and agents who are just like, dude, I need more clients. And whether that's through lead generation, through brand awareness, which is lead generation, everything is lead gen, right? Yeah. And it's just 4 years ago, our lead gen was go to the gym with a shirt on that says Remax. People will know I sell a house, and they'll just come up and be like, "Hey, you're a realtor? That's crazy. I need to sell my house." And then you'd sell $1 million house, and you're like, "Man, I'm the greatest realtor of all time." Or you'd create, we went through this process of like YouTube video creation or Instagram reel creation. We're like, dude, I'm just going to crush it. And I'm talking to so many people right now, Ryan, that are just like, it's not crushing it. Like it's not working. And so we're heading, I think, back into the age of brand awareness, sticking to like picking a medium and sticking to it, and really building something for yourself. And it excites me, to be honest.
Yeah. And I think like what I'm going to show you guys today, you're probably already doing the majority of what I'm going to tell you to do. And just with some small pivots in terms of your tactics will help you build your business in a different way and have you be set up when the market shifts to be that top of mind realtor. So I'm just going to share my screen and jump in. Guys, I do want this to be interactive. Interrupt me, take yourself off mute. If you've got something to add, please add. We can all learn from each other. Sure, I'm here leading this. I'm no smarter than any of you guys here. I just geek out over this stuff probably more than a lot of you because it is my passion. But you guys are probably using other tactics that are working. Everybody here wants to hear it. Everyone, you should share. So please feel free to interrupt me. Please feel free to raise your hand and give your insights, or if there's something you're doing when I'm talking about a strategy or a slight pivot to that strategy or something different you're doing, please interrupt and share. Cool?
Yeah.
We good to get started?
Let's go.
All right. Everybody can see my screen? Drop a 1 if you can see my screen.
Yep.
We're good? All right. Guys, brand now, win later. So this is 3 plower plays to dominate your market when the market turns. Okay? It's going to put you in a position. Guys, I want to do a bit of a reality check here. The market is in a tough place, right? Most agents are cutting back. We're looking at like, how can we save money? How can we spend less? We're stopping our lead gen. We're stopping paying for services because there's not as many deals out there. Okay. But the thing is as the market shifts this way and everyone's retreating, it's actually creating an opportunity because you have fewer people competing for that space. And so guess what? It becomes cheaper to market to the audience if you're willing to spend money. And we have to change our mindset about doing that, right? So I'm going to focus on 3 things here today. Number 1, I'm going to focus on that mindset shift and thinking differently than all your competitors, okay? I'm going to then just give you 3 branding moves or brand awareness moves or tactics that you can implement in your business right now that are low cost, okay? And I know that's important to all of you. Who wants tactics that are low cost? Drop a 1.
Oh, yes.
Who wants tactics that are high cost? Anyone? No, it's a tough market. We want low cost, okay? So I'm going to give you low cost tactics that are going to help your more expensive lead gen, and brand awareness just does that. It helps your lead gen going into the future. And it's also going to help you build authority within your marketplace and within your niche so you become that top of mind realtor when people start to decide to transact. Because let's remember, guys, only 5% of the marketplace at any given point thinks of themselves as a buyer or a seller. And if we're only marketing to buyers and sellers, we're losing. Because guess what? Right now, it's probably even lower. It's probably close to 3% because of all of the uncertainty in most marketplaces, or the fact that there just isn't inventory, or people just aren't moving because they're locked into great interest rates, so on and so forth. Or there's the uncertainty around what's going on in the political economic space, right? So why you must market when others are retreating? Well, guess what? It's cheaper, okay? Meta ad costs are currently down 30 to 50%. And people don't realize this. So your costs for ads are down 30 to 50%. Now, the strategy I'm going to talk about versus traditional lead gen is like at 1/10 of the cost of traditional lead gen, okay? Your competition is going silent. Or as Joe said, still doing the same things that worked when the market was hot, wearing their t-shirt to the gym or making reels on Instagram, so on and so forth, which are still good tactics, but how do we pivot that to make sure that we're growing a return? Okay? So really, attention is discounted right now. And as David Ogilvy said, when times are good, you should advertise. When times are bad, you must advertise. Okay? When times are bad, you must advertise. Like, look at these giant companies that were built during recessions. Some of the biggest companies in the world were built during recessions. And that's why any recession that happens or downturn in the market, for those that take action and put forth effort at those times, you're going to come out the other side with a winning business that everybody else wants. And we have companies like Airbnb in the 2008 crash, Uber in the 2009 recession, MailChimp was started in the 2001 bust, Microsoft 1975 recession, WhatsApp 2009. These are giant companies that took the risk and spent money in smart ways and built new businesses during recession. So it is possible to grow during tough markets. I'm not saying we're in a recession. I'm not being a pessimist. I'm not going to get, political or talk about economics here, but there are a lot of tough markets out there. But it is opportunity to build a business. And if you can build a business now, when we're on the other side, it will be booming for you. Because what I'm going to show you today is going to make you that top of mind realtor and put you in front of more people. Okay. So once again, right now, I want your mindset to shift to, I am going to take advantage of everyone else being scared. Okay. Who here wants to take advantage of their competition being scared? While your competition is retreating, it is an opportunity for you to move forward. So we're seeing huge agent attrition right now, and it's going to continue. Okay. 22% of agents leave on average will leave real estate during a downturn in the market. Okay. And then not only are they leaving, but if they're not leaving, guess what? They're not spending money right now. They're firing their marketing companies. They're stopping their lead gen. They're not doing their mailers anymore. They feel defeated. They're not getting out there. They're not throwing company events. They don't have the money to sponsor local community sports teams or events, so on and so forth, which is leaving a great opportunity for you because those things are still needed within your community, right? So why brand awareness over lead generation right now? Number one is brand awareness can be a lot cheaper depending on how you do it. So you're going to get more impressions for your dollar. Okay. More people are going to see you for your dollar. It's just that the outcome is going to be different. Leveraging brand awareness can help you build authority without being salesy. It's going to establish you as an expert in your marketplace without you ever asking people for something in return. So it lowers that sales resistance when in the future you do offer your services, or when in the future they think about, oh, it's time to sell my home, or it's time to go out and buy a home. They think of you as in an organic and an authentic way. Okay. And guess what? Building brand awareness now makes your future lead generation cheaper and will get you a better ROI on your future ad spend because you already have authority with these people. They've already seen you. And if you've delivered free value without any ask, they are more likely when it is time for them to want to click on an ad with an ask, with a call to action, with a lead magnet, with an offer. You already have that authority, that trust, and that awareness with these people, which makes it much more likely for them to take action, right? Because if you're just running lead gen ads that are asking people to take action when they don't know who you are, there's no trust there. Why are they going to do it? And so this is what today is about, okay? So brand awareness is cheap. And this is just to give you an example, like your average lead cost for a cold lead, depending on what type of lead you're trying to get, it can be lower than $12 if you're good, but $12 to $45, right? A really good buyer lead is going to be between $12 and $20. A really good seller lead is going to be somewhere in the $40 to $50 range, right? Whereas if you look at the cost per impression for a video view, it can be like as low as 1 cent for brand awareness campaigns. So you're going to get way more eyeballs on your marketing for less money. Who wants more eyeballs on their marketing? Who wants more eyeballs on any video they make, right? And I'll talk about it more in a few minutes, but you can leverage this to get more eyeballs on the organic traffic, on the organic content that you are already creating, right? There's the simplest way to do this is a boost. Drop a 1 if you've boosted any of your videos or your posts on Instagram or Facebook before on Meta. Drop a 1 if you've boosted. Okay. Yes. Okay. Lots of you. So here's the problem with a boost is you are just blindly trusting Facebook or Meta, right? Instagram and Facebook. So we can run what are called brand awareness campaigns, or you can do it in 2 different ways, which we do for our clients, which is either through to generate brand awareness, you can generate traffic. So you're sending more traffic somewhere, or you can leverage for engagement, right? So getting people to engage with your videos, so on and so forth. But it's much cheaper than doing lead generation, and it can get people to your page, seeing your videos, so on and so forth. And this stuff works. I had a call with one of my one-on-one clients this morning. They were at a concert last night. They were at a concert, a very small concert, 50 people there. They had someone in the crowd walk up to them and say, "Hey, just so you know, you're my future realtor." And he was like, "What?" And he's just been running brand awareness campaigns that are very targeted at a particular niche, a particular type of person. And someone in this crowd of 40 to 50 people has been seeing their videos, started following them. They're spending money. It's not free. We're not all celebrity marketers, guys. Some of us still have to spend money to get views. We don't all have, we're unfortunately not all Amy Youngren with 10,000 plus followers on Instagram, right? But you can still get the same results that Amy gets with spending a little bit of money. Does this make sense?
Yeah, that's great.
Why won't it let me move? Oops. What's going on here? There we go. So branding builds authority, right? Number 1, you're going to be the first choice when people are ready. Number 2, this has actually changed. Sorry, this is my old stat. It's now up to 82% of people hire the first agent they meet. Isn't that crazy, guys? 82% of people will now hire the first agent they meet. So I want to run brand awareness because it's going to make it more likely that people hire me or are willing to meet with me in the future when they feel ready. And I always want to be the first one to meet them because guess what? Then there's an 82% chance they're going to work with me. Okay. And brand awareness cheaply allows you to be everywhere, which is good. And if you do it consistently, which is the key, you will build brand recognition and be recognizable. Okay. Number 3, this is going to fill your funnel, guys. And I'm all about funnel. So it's going to allow you to leverage retargeting, okay, which gets your cost per click 50 to 7% lower, 50 to 70% lower. You're going to get higher conversion rates because the leads are warm. As I told you before, if you're just asking people to give you information right away when they don't know you cold, it is expensive because they don't know you, trust you, or like you. But if you've been running brand awareness and they've been seeing you and you've been delivering value to them in some way for a long period of time, when you then are running a lead generation campaign and asking them for something in exchange for your lead magnet or your offer or call to action, they are 2 to 3 times more likely to be willing to give you that information in exchange because they already know everything that you deliver is valuable because you've been delivering something valuable to them for free. Does this make sense? And here's a crazy stat from NAR is people who run brand awareness campaigns along with their lead generation have 26% higher GCI. Who wants to make 26% more money?
Say that one more time.
People who run brand awareness
Yeah.
in some way along with their lead generation campaigns have 26% higher GCI. Okay. We have been so obsessed with lead generation for so long. And I'm not just talking about online, guys. And I'm going to get into this in a second with my 3 strategies because only one of my strategies is doing brand awareness with paid. Other stuff is using traditional marketing, and I'm going to give you guys some tactics. Okay. But this is important because no matter what you do from a brand awareness standpoint, it's going to give you better opportunities for lead gen in the future in your other ways. So
can you give like 2 or 3 examples of like a brand awareness ad just in case somebody doesn't know?
I'm going to give it in here. Don't worry. I'm going to give
it. Okay. Sorry.
So power play number 1 is Meta Evergreen video campaigns. Okay. This is 30-second video, value-driven videos where you are giving information that is targeted at your niche that would speak to one of their pains, problems, desires, right? An example would be, and guys, these shouldn't be salesy in any way whatsoever. This is what you have to understand. These shouldn't push people that buying is necessarily better. Because if you actually tell people continuing to rent might be better for you, or here's ways you can stay in your current home so that you can stay locked into your 3% mortgage might be better than you, this builds trust. Most realtors are in their ear saying, now's the best time to sell. Now's the best time to buy. If you're a different voice and you are putting brand awareness videos in front of them that are evergreen, that shows them, hey, here's how you and your family could stay in your home longer. Or, hey, here's an honest, I'm targeting first-time buyers. Rent versus buy. These are the benefits of continuing to rent. These are the benefits of continuing to buy. Depending on your situation, renting may be better, right? These are the types of examples. Steps to sell your home for more money, right? Things that people miss as first-time sellers, so on and so forth. Building these evergreen videos. And guys, you don't need to spend a lot of money. Our clients spend $5 a day, and you can see about 1,000 views for $5. This is 1,000 people seeing your videos. Now, we can't geo-target the way we once could on Meta, but this is where you have to get good at writing ad copy that has call-outs, so only people you are interested in seeing the video would click on the video. Does that make sense? So for instance, we can't get so particular right now that you're targeting down to one particular neighborhood in Las Vegas. However, in your video and in your ad copy, you can call out that particular neighborhood. So someone who is not in that particular neighborhood is much less likely to click on your video. Does that make sense? It's a hack for you guys.
Well, and when you get into branding, Ryan, I'm sure you'd agree, like, if I was trying to catch a bear, I would say, I have the best honey in the world. We make great honey. And then or if I'm trying to catch a fish, I would just identify what's the bait that fish wants. And then I would just try to be the boat that has that bait. And we were in Grand Cayman. Yep. And if you guys have ever done the sand reef, Stingray Island, they call it. And we private chartered this boat that this dude pulled up, and there were all these huge charters, and we were on the small one, and all these stingrays came to our guy. And we were like, why, what's happening? And he's like, well, we don't trap them, and we give them way more fish to eat than all the other boats do. And so when our boat pulls up, they just naturally come to us. And I was like, that's crazy. But what they've done in a weird way is they've just branded themselves that all the stingrays just know that this boat is the boat that doesn't trap us and gives us the fish we want. So then when we're branding ourselves as realtors, it's how do we identify that item, which is the thing our consumers want, that they then come to know us for that thing?
100%, which is why we have to have niche targeting, right? Which is my next point. You need to be very clear on who you're speaking to. And as realtors, we love to make the mistake of trying to speak to everyone. And when we speak to everyone, we're speaking to no one. So
It's because we're afraid that we're going to miss opportunity.
100%. We're afraid we're going to miss deals, but the thing is you're not getting any deals because you're trying to speak to everyone. And if you, let's say you decide your niche is first-time buyers, okay? The first 5 years of my career, all I went after was first-time buyers. Do you know how many times I then got their parents' listing, the sale of their parents' home, the sale of a friend's home, so on and so forth? Even though those people weren't first-time buyers, but I built trust with one niche and then built a machine to get repeat and referral business because I did such a good job for that niche that they trusted me so much that they would recommend and refer me to other people outside of the niche. And it will happen, guys. But you have to trust that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we need to get specific about who we're talking about. And then hot topics, you need to be very clear on what are those pains, worries, fears, needs, wants, and desires of your niche, and create evergreen, value-driven videos that speak to that niche. And you have no call to action, guys. Well, sorry, I shouldn't say no call to action. You have no ask. You're not asking them for their information, right? You could ask them for a follow. You could ask them to DM you to discuss more, but you shouldn't be trying to get their information in exchange for something. This isn't a lead generation campaign. This is building brand awareness, which is hard for us as realtors to spend money on because it is hard to define what the immediate ROI is. You're going to see it on the back end when your lead generation gives you better results in the future. Does that make sense? Is this helpful so far, guys? Drop a 1 if this is helpful.
Yes, for sure.
Who's doing brand awareness right now, and who's going to start? Drop me a start if you're going to start doing brand awareness based off what I've told you so far today.
100%.
Well, one thing you're pointing out, Ryan, that I think people need to understand is branding yourself is not going to fix your money issues tomorrow.
Nope.
And it's a long-term play. Like the only way to fix your money issues tomorrow is pure lead generation. Like how do you find the lead that needs to buy a house this weekend? That's gonna pay your mortgage in May or in probably June. Branding is going to pay your mortgage for years to come. And like that's the difference between these two things. But it's all like they're going to go like, well, Ryan, how do I brand myself so somebody calls me this weekend to sell a $2 million house? And you're like, well, branding takes a while. It doesn't.
Yeah,
just
that's not what I'm
tomorrow.
here to tell you to do today. Like, but even though some of what I'll get in my next 2 strategies may get you there because it's going to get you in front of people possibly more face to face. And so it may get you there. But I agree with you, Joe. Like, here's the thing. The reason I wanted to talk about this today and why I think it's such an opportunity is because, as we said at the start, there's not as many people out there ready to buy tomorrow or ready to sell tomorrow. So, and a lot of us are getting discouraged by that. So it's how can we still be marketing and spending less money to set ourselves and put ourselves in that position when there are more people ready to buy tomorrow? We're who they think of, right? And we get more of a return out of our lead gen. So strategy number 2 is our mail drop and door knock offers, right? So do this. Start doing giveaways, local restaurant gift cards, tickets to sports or other events, QR codes with lead form to lead capture. Here we want you to lead capture, okay? Because if I'm knocking on, and this is what I don't want you to do, stop with your generic postcards, stop with your just listed or just sold spam. It can be on there, but that can't be the focus. Because only 3 to 5% of people consider themselves as a seller. So if your marketing is just focused on sellers, guess what? 95% of people are throwing it in the garbage. However, if my mail drop or my door knock offer is tickets to a local event, tickets to the Las Vegas night, a raffle for tickets to the Las Vegas Knights game, now, Joe, your neighborhood, if you go knock on the door and say, hey, are you thinking of selling your home? What percentage of people are going to say yes?
Not a lot, but I do think door knocking is a rad way to generate business. But to your point, I mean, talk about needle in a haystack. It's like, it's just as bad as straight. Not we call the funny thing is in real estate we call cold calling lead ponds. That's not cold calling.
Okay.
Cold calling is literally like circle prospecting around an area. It's not a high closing percentage.
100%. But now, if you go to that same neighborhood and knock on the door and say, "Hey, would you like to have the chance to win tickets to tomorrow's Knights game, Golden Knights game?" What percentage are going to say yes?
I mean, everybody would. Yeah.
Right. So, which one is going to help you, A, build more brand awareness and authority, and B, be able to capture leads that you can nurture long term? Because we already established only 5% of those people are looking to sell, right? If you're lucky. But now you're able to lead capture to talk to them for a long time. And the second part of this is when I'm door knocking, I'm there to gather intelligence for future marketing, not just get listings, right? So I'm there to ask questions and have conversations with people. I want to know, what do they love about the neighborhood? Why did they decide to move there when they moved in? Now that they've been living in the neighborhood, what do they love even more that people in the neighborhood wouldn't know about? And then I'm going to, after I've harped on the positives, I'm going to say, "Hey, it sounds like you really love the neighborhood and it's probably where you're going to be forever. But if you don't mind me asking, is there anything about the neighborhood that might have you consider moving in the future?" And now they're going to tell you, because their sales resistance is super low, because you've just been at the door having a conversation about everything they love. They don't see you as a salesperson anymore. Does that make sense? So not only am I just at the door to have a conversation, I also, as I said in my last slide, am giving them offers to things that they actually want. And the majority of people actually want in exchange for their information, so that once I have their information, I can now market to them with other brand awareness tactics that I'm not going to talk about today, but something that, Sharon is great at, email marketing, right? Like, how many of you guys, drop a one if you signed up for one of Sharon's free things? One of his school community, his email list. Drop a one if you signed up for one of Sharon's free things. This is exactly what Sharon does, guys. He offers you free stuff that you're actually interested in, so that when you need something else that he sells, who are you thinking of? Sharon. He just does this to real estate agents. We just have to think of other tactics. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Cool. Get back here. So yeah, continuing on, value-driven mail drops and door hangers to go along with your door knocking. So there's 3 types of values I try to have on every mailer or door hanger that's going to attract different types of people. Number 1 is something of intrinsic value. It could be raffles, giveaways, etc. It could be discounts to a local restaurant, a local service provider. It's something of intrinsic value, okay? Then I'm going to give them, we're great at this educational value piece. I'm going to give them what's going on in the market, the house I just sold for a record price. What was the process that got them that price? And then I'm going to give them neighborhood entertainment, okay? Because guess what? The person who just bought their house 6 months ago and realizes they overpaid, they don't want your educational offers. They're not interested. It makes them feel bad about themselves. They don't want to see it. But they just moved into the neighborhood. They do want to know, when is the local fair at the park? Or when is the sign up for the kids soccer league that sells out every year, right? Or when is the local beer festival? They want to know about this stuff. And it will build brand awareness for you if you become that source to give it to them. Make sense?
How do you compete with local community newsletters and social accounts and things like that that have the staff and the pockets to, and they've been doing this for so long. Like at this stage, like if I'm just using me as an example, like if I was to start in the neighborhood that I'm living, I would think like, oh, why even bother at this point? There's so many other things that already have that awareness.
So the thing is it's how you deliver it and figuring out what's important to your niche, right? And making it about you. Once again, you don't need to be talking to everybody in the neighborhood, and I'm just about to get to that point.
Okay.
Right? In my next strategy, in my third strategy. You don't necessarily need to be talking to everyone. And so not because you're an agent, someone who actually subconsciously is thinking about real estate may be more attracted to your marketing than that newsletter that's dominated the neighborhood, right? Because here's the whole thing. Great marketers, what makes them great is they actually create habits in their target market. And the habit we're always trying to create is that they read and or watch and or engage with our marketing. Okay? So even though you may be competing with that newsletter, Amy, that's been in the neighborhood forever, because they only add one particular type of value, if that value wasn't important to the reader for a certain period of time, they've already created the habit that that person automatically sends that to junk, or they automatically, when they see it in their mailbox, throw it in the garbage. And the reason I try to use this 3-tiered method is because it speaks to different people at different points in their life. But if they know I'm giving value in all 3 ways, they'll say, hey, Ryan's mailer came, or Ryan's email came, I want to read it because I know it's going to have one of these 3 types of value. And I'm interested in what's going on in the neighborhood right now. Because when I moved here, I didn't have a kid. Now I have a kid. I don't know what the heck to do with my kid in this neighborhood. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, power play number 3 is that community involvement. So number 1 is online presence. And here's where you need to get very niche, because realtors have already done a great job of this, of setting up like, a community Facebook page for a particular neighborhood. That's great, right? But it's not for everyone. And most people already know, hey, it's just, listen, I have one in my neighborhood, and it's only 2 realtors posting on there all the time. And everybody knows that. So it used to get a ton of engagement, but now it doesn't. So I'm looking at how can I get more niche with local sponsorships or creating a group. So I'm not just going to create a local group for everyone. I'm going to create a local group for new moms. I mean, I'm not a mom, so I'm not going to create that group, but I'm giving an example to some of you, right? Where I'm, once again, this is brand awareness. I'm not in there trying to sell real estate. I'm in there actually delivering value to new moms, right? Like, hey, there's this mommy meetup group that happens in the park every Saturday at 5 p.m. Who's coming, right? These are the ways that you can get involved in your community that are more niche, that will help you grow. Right.
Right. And there's a good question in the chat. Is the online presence portion of it in their company name or in your personal brand name?
So I do personal brand name because eventually people put it together. You have to remember, brand awareness is a long-term game, right? If you're in their face right away as Ryan Weich's realtor, or you get what I'm saying, then they're like, oh, here's another real estate agent trying to sell me something. If I'm Ryan Weich's just starting, let's say, the local neighborhood golf night for all the golf enthusiasts to go golfing, they're more likely to show up. They'll eventually figure out I'm a realtor. It's not that hard to do. Does that make sense? But if you're starting these groups as a real estate agent, people can see through it. You need to be more authentic. I'm just being honest. Now, a local sponsorship might be different. Of course, you're going to be sponsored by by your business. But in starting like these niche groups and niche communities, whether it's online or whether it's actually like an in-person community, you have to do it authentically as yourself. Like, I'll be honest, like one that I can think of that comes to top of mind that a realtor did in my old neighborhood that was amazing is he partnered with like a local personal trainer and started a dad's workout group on Saturdays and a mom's workout group on Sundays in the park, where they gave free hit style workout classes in the local park. And there was 20 moms and 20 dads there every Saturday and Sunday. That this realtor was there at the workouts. He wasn't saying it's sponsored by my business, but he was getting in front of 20 plus local people every Saturday and Sunday.
Do you think that this could work if your niche is a demographic versus a geographical location?
Yeah, I mean, it works. Of course it does. Works even better.
You're making me sound like I'm dumb for asking that.
Sorry,
I was just trying to ask a question that maybe other people are thinking. I don't know.
No, 100%. Like this works even better if you are trying to, socio farm, as I like to call it, like socioeconomic background farm. This works even better because you can start groups like around wine or whatever your hobbies are, and then actually enjoy it and build a community of like-minded people around you that you're going to want to work with. Right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. And really, you have no asks with any of these things. That's what you have to realize. You're just building your brand. You're building your reputation. 100%, Amy, I get what you're saying, but I personally wouldn't start with the online presence or my niche communities being about my real estate brand. That will naturally come, right, and happen over time. I'm trying to build long-term brand awareness because guess what? This is what happens. I have this niche community. I haven't even talked about the fact that I'm a realtor. Guess what? These moms or these young families, they're going to see my Meta ads or my Meta brand awareness campaigns and say, oh, Ryan's a realtor? Shoot, we better keep him. He's been running this, family hangout group for the last 2 years. We're starting to think about moving. Ryan's the one we've got to reach out to first. Make sense? Yeah. As Joe said before, brand awareness are long-term plays. These are all long-term plays. They can get you an immediate ROI. But what I will tell you is if you do these properly, they will get you a better ROI, 2 to 3 times better ROI on your ad spend.
Yeah, and Ryan, I imagine you would agree that when you're starting to be a community builder and kind of niche out a little bit, it's really important to pick something that you're truly passionate about so you don't create a job because you think that's what people want.
Yeah, make it easy on yourself.
I don't care about salsa dancing or like community theater. And if I'm like, dude, seems like all these people want to learn about salsa dancing. And so I'm just going to create this group and hope they buy houses from me. I'm creating this nightmare scenario to where like I have to be this person that produces this content that I don't give a crap about. So it's like, what advice would you have for someone kind of picking some of that, content creation / community leadership around things they actually care about so they're not creating for themselves a world where they're like, man, I painted myself in this corner and now it's a nightmare?
I think like it's simple. Like everyone here, I think, would agree that in an ideal world, they would be able to work with one type of person over and over again, right? And you have that ideal client or that client avatar, whatever you may call it. In an ideal world, you're going to build a community around those people that you enjoy working with that should be doing things or have interests or are at life stages that you yourself are at or interested in. So that's why, like I'm saying here, is like find a niche focus and be authentically present. And I think that's to your point, Joe. If you aren't interested in the community you're building or the things that are happening within your community or the offers you're making, the things you're sponsoring, the events you're throwing, if you're not interested in them, you're not gonna be authentic. It's gonna come off that you're just there to sell people. Let's remember, those of you who have heard me speak before, you know I'm obsessed with sales, and I love to talk about sales resistance. If it's not authentic, you're whether you know it or not, you're going to be building sales resistance for yourself, and you're going to come off salesy. And people will stop being involved with the things you do in the community because people don't want to be sold to. People don't want to spend time with someone that they feel like is trying to sell them. You are trying. The simplest way is brand awareness allows you to build an ecosystem where people are asking you to sell them when the time is right, instead of you trying to sell people. And that's what brand awareness really does for you, right? So like ROI on community first marketing, like less than eight, you're about 3.5x on traditional marketing. Sorry, one second. There we go. If you get involved occasionally, it gets a bit better. Regular sponsorship and community involvement, even better. Like if you become seen as a community leader, and there's some of you on this call that are probably already great at this, but every dollar you spend gets you a way better ROI because guess what? People think of you in the community. And then when you do your real estate marketing and your lead gen marketing, if you're a leader in the community and you go knock on someone's door, are they more or less likely to have a conversation with you versus if they don't know you from Tom? Right? And this is how this all ties together. If you do this community first marketing in strategy 3, when you go door knocking, people are excited to open the door and have a conversation with you versus saying, who are you and why are you at my door and what are you trying to sell me?
Well, and think about meeting, a lot of us have met like celebrities or heroes of ours, right? And you're just like, it's so weird because you meet them and you're like, dude, I feel like I already know you. I was geeking out thinking about this yesterday because my wife and I watched Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care about Formula One racing. Like the races are actually kind of boring, but I know Drive to Survive. And so every once in a while, like my son and I watched the Miami race yesterday. They were showing the drivers walk out to the car, and I'm like, well, there's Lando. I know Lando. He golfs and he's right. And it's like, I was like, wait a minute, dude, you don't freaking know that guy. Like, but it's like I felt like I knew him because I watched the show. And then branding does this for us, where like if you're able to create this brand, then it will make sense that people will be like, oh, Ryan, yeah, you're that, you're the guy that runs the jujitsu family group or whatever. And like, they just know you, even though you have no clue who they are. And that's when branding is. And Sharon always says that the greatest marketing engine in the world is celebrity. And while I don't have any hopes of being a, world-renowned celebrity, can I niche out and become really well known for certain things that make people feel like they're connected to me? And then at that point, it becomes a great marketing engine.
100%. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And here's the great thing. And this is how I leverage it personally is like, I'm not a social media influencer. I don't have a ton of followers. You can still spend money for people to see your marketing on social media without a lot of followers. And you can do cool things like based off the followers you do have, as long as they're the type of people you want to work with, creating lookalike audiences. So your brand awareness campaigns get showed to more people like your followers. So like one hack, if you guys want to do step 1, is go through your followers and make sure they're actually people you want to work with and not just other realtors. It's a big mistake a lot of us make, right? Because then it gives you that advantage of you can create lookalike audiences. And trust me, the meta algorithm is very small and will show your ads, your brand awareness campaigns to other people like your followers. So your followers that you do have are important. Don't think they're not. Okay? And it's not just a numbers game. It's a quality game. As long as you have more than 100, that's all you need. You need to have more than 100 of a certain type of follower, and Meta can create lookalike audiences to find more of those similar people, right? So brand awareness equals trust. Trust equals leverage. Leverage is going to equal market share. And that's what we all want, is more market share. And if we spend time now building brand awareness and not asking people for business, but delivering value and becoming an authority, because guess what? People don't want to give you business anyways. There's no business to give you. The market's down. But the fact that you delivered value without asking now, when the market turns and everybody's ready to buy and sell, you will be the one they come to because you didn't bug them and ask.
Brian, this reminds me of the message that so many industry coaches and leaders were giving during COVID was don't jump on social, don't get in your emails, don't get on the phone and ask anybody about their real estate plans or what's going on. The only thing that we were all coached and encouraged to do was to literally ask people how they're doing, deliver value, engage with them in something of interest to them, so that long term you could end up seeing the results. Because now the market ended up shifting faster than anybody expected, which, guys, like, even though that doesn't look like it's going to be the case with the economy that we're in right now, if there's anything that I've learned in 12 years of sales in this industry, is that when it does pivot, it pivots fast. So start building your brand today, or elevate your brand today, and know that this, yes, it is a long-term play, but this is the time when things are quieter. Get your systems in order, get your branding in order. Like this is the time. Like, everybody says that they wish that they had more time to do these types of things, and now you've got it. So
100%.
It's something you said just reminded me of all the conversations during COVID.
Exactly. This down markets are the opportunity to build your brand. So the cost of waiting, most agents are they stop marketing during a market downturn. Yeah. It allows you the smart agents are building visibility through brand awareness. But if you wait for the market to recover, you're too late. Someone else has already done it. And new market leaders are born out of recessions. It always happens. And it's the people that spend the time, spend the effort. All three strategies that I gave you guys won't cost a lot of money. It'll be cheaper than your traditional advertising, whether that's online lead gen, whether that's, bus stop, so on and so forth. That's it, guys. Hopefully today was helpful. Has anybody got any questions? I got another call in 2 minutes. So does anybody have any questions for me?
My question is, can you share the slides so that a few people have DM'd me and asked me for the slides, and then we'll give them out next Monday, guys, if you're willing to share them, Ryan.
I am 100% willing to share my slides. My only ask of you guys is that you do follow me on Instagram at @RyanWikes_. That is my only ask. I'm happy to share my slides. If you guys, I post lots about this type of stuff on my social media. And if you guys want to talk more in depth about any of this stuff, DM me. There's a certain slide you wanted to dive deeper into, questions about certain things, DM me. Always happy to talk.
It was really great, Ryan.
Cheers, guys. Hopefully it was helpful.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Guys, we'll see you again next Monday at 9 Pacific, 12 noon Eastern time. Have an amazing rest of your week.